My first blog offered an insight into summer school teaching experiences both here at home in London, but also abroad as I take my subject on the road to India. Here I would like to tease out some of the enticing discussions which one may have in a politics class. The UK in-out referendum on the European Union offers both passion and currency in equal measure. In mainstream discussions, the debates of the Remain and the Leave campaigns focus squarely on the single market as well as on asylum and immigration. This is unsurprising, since job security and state security are both prominent themes. However, can we use political science to glimpse more? The idea of security belongs with state sovereignty. In the UK, Parliament is sovereign, yet its powers have been constrained by EU legislative acts, which in conflicting areas take precedence. How can state sovereignty and EU membership then be reconciled? The post-World War II system of international relations gave birth to international legal sovereignty as a new system of relations amongst states that promotes global peace. The system has worked in avoiding large-scale conflict, which indicates the great utility of international legal sovereignty. State security is no longer a matter for the state alone, which we call the realist view. The liberal one has postulated that cooperation among states is not only possible, but that it is desirable. In this sense, there are advantages to be drawn from working within the constraints of an international organization. The idea of security has thus evolved over time. It belongs with state sovereignty and with international legal sovereignty. Otherwise put, the state has come to belong to something greater than itself. Next, the extent of the belonging has come into question as part of the UK referendum on the European Union. This is a lot more complex, and we can manage the question by deconstructing it into expectations and outcomes. One key expectation is one's ability to determine one's own fate. The outcome is a negotiation to leave the Union, and then renegotiations on the terms of engagement with the rest of the world, including with the remaining 27 EU member states. Precedence in this regard is scarce. Greenland comes closest, as it acquired home rule from Denmark in the 1970s. It took 5 years to negotiate the treaty formalizing its exit, whilst it is still subject to EU treaties through the Association of Overseas Territories. This was, of course, the age of the common market, an early precursor of the single market, the bane of Italian sovereignty. The multifaceted nature of security would dictate a multi-layered exit strategy. Is it advisable to go it alone on this trip of uncharted territory? This is certainly not a question of fear. After all, the UK is a country with a vast imperial past. However, a political scientist will point to the fact that Britain was a territorial, not an ideological empire. And yet, we live in the age of interdependence, which replaced polarity, and therefore ideas carry greater salience than territorial gain. Therefore, the past helps us very little in understanding the question of leaving the European Union. What would be the UK without the European Union, and what would be the EU without the United Kingdom? A sampling of key themes of state building and a historiography of engagement would allow students to tease out negotiating strategies on the state of the unions, which can feed into debates stretching well beyond the 6 weeks to the referendum. These are the kind of exercises a student of political science may expect to partake in a political science class.